amen, amen. I welcome you to this program, powerful program, Woman Without Excuse. This is Dr. Pauline Oracle coming right to your house, right to your car, if you're listening to me from your mobile phone, on our Facebook page, or whatever platform you're listening to us. I want to say this is Dr. Pauline Oracle coming from the Oracle Television Network, a network that is loved by many, that educates us in Christian matters. We don't call it a Christian channel, but we say most of the things that we do here are educative, marriage-wise, foundations, and everything. So today I am coming up in Women Without Excuse, Woman Without Excuse, or WWE. This is a program that is loved by many men and women in this nation. I get so many calls. I get so many texts after a program like this. And today I want us to tackle a program or a topic that is very, very thorny. I want us to tackle a topic that I am calling causes for extramarital affairs in a marriage. I know that's a very, very thorny issue, but I want to tackle it because we are handling so much about marriage in our churches. We are realizing that there is so much that is happening to the marriage. We are realizing the marriage bed is defiled, marriages are not lasting, things are just happening, and we do not even know which direction marriage is going. But the bottom line is there is somebody else that is eyeing your spouse apart from you outside your marriage. And that is what I'm calling causes of extramarital affairs in a marriage. I may not be able to really go to all of them. And I don't normally say when I talk about marriages, I am not a marriage expert, but I have been in marriage. I just celebrated on 30th of June, 34 years in marriage. And in 34 years in marriage, I do not remember one day that I dealt with infidelity in my marriage for 34 years. I am not saying my marriage is a perfect marriage, but I am saying I have learned how to we have learned how to get along with one another with Dr. Oracle. 34 years. I got married to him when I was 22, going to 23 years. Very vulnerable age, very young age, but I have lasted in that marriage. We have lasted together for 34 years this last June. Actually, last Sunday, we were celebrating 34 years in marriage. We are not saying we have made it. We are not even saying we are experts in marriage. We are not even saying there have not been challenges, but I am saying this confidently on national television. I have never dealt with infidelity in my marriage for the last 34 years. Not because I am an expert in marriage, not because I am the best woman, not because the oracle is the best man, but we have learned how to grow one another and how to mend our mistakes, and also how to support one another when a challenge comes. I am not saying challenges have not come. I have dealt with so many challenges, but one of the worst challenges you can deal with in a marriage is infidelity that is brought by extramarital affair. So I want us to look at this topic for the next maybe 3-4 programs. We are going to look at several causes. And I think at one point, I am going to open the lines for people to make calls, because I will have a panel of people that are going to answer your questions about extramarital affairs. But for now, for the next 2-3 weeks, I would like to tackle this topic, and I would like to go into several things that can possibly cause extramarital affairs. But I want you to know, as I begin this topic, is that nothing just happens. I said nothing just happens. Everything happens for a reason, and for everything that happens, either in marriage, either in your life, whatever you do, nothing just happens. There must be an underlying reason for anything to happen. So a man doesn't just wake up in the morning and say, today I am going to start an affair outside there. Or a woman doesn't, because in this case, when I talk about the extramarital affair, I am not just directing this blame or this issue to men. I am pointing at both of us, both spouses, because it could happen to any of us. A woman can have an extramarital affair. Rarely does that happen, but it happens, especially in the world that we are living in and in the era we are living in. A man can also have an marital affair. So I want us to look at both sides. What are the loose ends that we need to tighten in our marriages, especially if you are married? Well, for me, I am married for 34 years. 34 years. When I tell people I am married for 34 years, and I have never at one time even left my husband's house to go back to my mother's house. My mother now is late. If she was alive, she would tell you that. I have never packed my things on my mizigo, nikasema nimerudi kwetu. Never has it ever happened. I am not saying I am the best person, but I am saying you must learn how to handle issues in your marriage, because number one, there is no perfect man, there is no perfect woman, there is no perfect marriage, and my marriage cannot be like your marriage. So learn to build with the stones that you have cut yourself. Learn to deal with the materials that you have made for yourself for your marriage, because every marriage is different. So when we talk about extramarital affairs, I want you to know nothing just happens. It is one thing that happens today, then it is repeated tomorrow, and before you realize, one thing has led to the other, and there's already an extramarital affair. And in most cases for us women, by the time you realize your man has an extramarital affair, it did not just happen or start the day you realize. Maybe by the time you're realizing, there is a child in place. So what do you do when those things happen? But before we go to what do you do, I want us to look at the things that may cause an extramarital affair to happen. First of all, if you're in a marriage, for however short or for however long time, there is a particular thing that you need to look out for in your spouse. Normally, there's a specific or a particular way of behavior. So many times, when you realize that there's a particular pattern that is repeating itself in this marriage, maybe when you got married, like for us, we have almost a covenant that before you get home, if I am not home, the oracle will call me and ask me, where are you? Are you home? Are you almost home? We have made that like a tradition. So every time we will either get to the house together, or I will find him, maybe amefika mbele yangu kidogo, ama nitafika mbele yake kidogo. So that is a pattern that we have formed. So if you are like us, and you realize your spouse has now broken the pattern, he's either coming a bit later or a bit earlier in the house, and you find him in bed. Come on. He could be, maybe amekuwa kifika saa 12 ya jioni, lakini sasa una realize ametoka kazini kama anafanya kazi, and by the time you get to the house, he's already snoring in bed. There is a problem right there, because there is a breakage and there is a problem in the pattern. The pattern has come from 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock to now. Even the house girl will tell you alifika saa 10. So you will realize there is a problem right there. Either there's a relationship that is beginning right within your house, or there is something very weird that is happening. So when you realize, because sometimes by the time you realize there's an extramarital affair, it is already too late. But I am saying this, it is important for you people that are in marriage to check out for those changes in patterns. If your spouse was coming at a particular time to the house, and now he's coming at a different time without any explanation, you need to find out what has happened to my spouse. Is there a problem? Is there something that is happening outside this marriage that I am not even aware of? So you need to find out. So you need to be very keen and sensitive to find out if there is a pattern that has changed in the house. Please take care of that before things escalate and run out of hand. Because once there is an extramarital affair out there, of course, the other partner out there will look like a better option to your spouse. I will repeat that again. When there is an extramarital affair, the person out there will look like, look at what I'm doing, quote, quotes, will look like or will feel like a better option to your spouse. So if it is a man who is having an extramarital affair, the woman they are moving with out there looks, feels, and tastes better than your wife. But I want to tell you, your wife is the best thing that God gave you. And if it's a woman, the man out there, because I will come to that, that is my first point, will feel like a person who understands me more than my husband. I will tell you why that feels like that. So don't be quick to point out accusation when you realize that there is an extramarital affair that is happening in your marriage. Why am I saying that? First of all, if you're a woman like me and you realize your husband is not behaving in the same way that he used to behave, first of all, before you point out a finger to him, look at yourself from the inside. Could I have failed at one point or the other? Could I be doing things differently and my spouse feels like there's a problem with me? So before you point a finger out there, whether you're a woman or a man, look from the inside. What behavior have I changed? What have I changed? Has the diet in my house changed? Has the way my house looks changed? Especially if your marriage is a young marriage. Young mothers, you're the ones that are having so many problems with your men going out there because they realize your concentration is just on your child. Your concentration is not on the man. But I want you to know we have been where you are. Some of us have given birth. Some of us have brought up children. So we also know there is a side of children. So as a woman, look from the inside. Have I neglected my man? Have I opened a door for an extramarital affair for him? Because every man wants to be pampered. I want to say that again. I have been married for the last 34 years. And I know, including now that I am recording this program, including this morning, there is a part of my husband that feels like I want to be pampered. They say in every 30-year or 40-year-old, there is a 3-year-old. So that 3-year-old, I will talk about the 3-year-old in the later parts of this program, needs to be pampered. So much as you have your baby with you, get to know there is another 3-year-old here that needs to be pampered. So if you are a woman and you realize that your man is behaving, coming home late, or doing something that you are suspicious of, look from the inside. How are you appropriating your time? Are you giving all your time to your children? Are you giving all your time to your friends? Are you giving all your time to your career? What are you doing to cause this man to feel like I am neglected and I have to look for an extra person to be able to pamper my ego as a man? So before you point out fingers that this man is bad, anapenda wanawake, before you do that, look from the inside and get to know, Pastor Pauline or Pauline, what is it that you're doing that your husband does not like? If you're a man and you realize your wife has changed in behavior, also get to know, am I treating my wife well? What is it that she's lacking from me that she has to go out there and look for it? So before you point fingers of accusation, please get to know, what am I doing as a person? What is my contribution in this marriage that could have opened a door for an extramarital affair? Changes could happen. The changes could change with time because also we are not getting younger. So there are things that change in a marriage with time. So if you realize that your spouse is changing, just get to know, why is the change there? Is there a change in the house? If he or she is just throwing unnecessary tantrums, get to know, where are these tantrums coming from? Hizi makasiriko na makushout ovyo kwa nyumba zinatoka wapi? It could be out there. There could be somebody that is pampering them and they are speaking softly. So when they come to the house and they realize you're shouting to the top of your voice, they prefer out there than being in the house. So as a woman or as a man, get to know and get to realize the change in behavior, the way your spouse is behaving. When it comes to extramarital affairs, you need to look from the inside first. So if you realize that your spouse is behaving in a different way, you need to know that there is a different thing that is happening. I want you to know, as I talk about extramarital affairs, an extramarital affair can begin either in the office, can begin in the marketplace, it can begin anywhere that is a social place because you meet with people. So especially in offices, extramarital affairs begin very, very easily because of the way that you interact with people. Personally, as Pastor Pauline, I am in the marketplace. I deal with interior decoration. So when I go to a site in a place where I'm going maybe to do a quotation, most of the people I deal with, because women don't go to sites. The first encounter that I have when I go to a site, I encounter the man, the owner of the project. But I am very, very quick to introduce myself that my name is so-and-so. I am married to so-and-so. So extramarital affairs could start even from sites. It could start from the office. It could start from a business interaction. It could also start from a church setup, because all those are social places where you interact with people. But the way you package yourself as a man or a woman will either block other predators that are looking at you like a possible spouse. You could either block them by the way you package yourself. So what am I saying? An extramarital affair, for an extramarital affair to happen, for you to feel like I am opening a door, or for a door to open, there must be your own contribution. And that is why I'm saying, before you start pointing fingers, get to know how is your packaging. When I get into the office, am I packaged like a married woman? Women who are working with bosses in the office, because that is where most of the relationships begin. Relationships will begin from offices. They will begin from marketplaces. They will begin from interactions of business. They will even begin in churches. So they can begin anywhere. But it depends on how I package. Let me use my example. How I package myself. How do you introduce yourself to the outside world? Outside your marriage, how do you introduce yourself? How do you dress as a woman? Do you dress like a married woman? Do you dress in a suggestive way, suggesting I am available for any man out there? So extramarital affairs can begin in social places like churches. They could begin from bars. As a woman, what are you going to a bar to do alone? A man will just come and ask you, can I share your table? That is how things begin. And one thing will lead to the other until you find yourself in an extramarital affairs. There are so many reasons for extramarital affairs to begin. And I want to begin with this particular one: misdirected emotions. One of the things that causes extramarital affairs to happen, I would call it misdirected emotions. I will explain that. Most of the extramarital affairs will begin from misdirected emotions. Let me explain this. If as a man or a woman, there is something that you find very easy to share with an outside person apart from your spouse, and you feel like so and so from the opposite sex understands me more than my spouse, there is already a looming problem right there. Let me repeat that again. Misdirected emotions. If you have somebody outside your marriage and you're a married woman or a woman, and you feel like when I share this thing with Sister Alice in the office, she understands me more than my wife, there is a problem that is looming right there. What am I saying? Immediately you share out, especially something about your marriage, out there with somebody who is not your spouse, who is not your wife or your husband. If I am a woman, if I share something about my husband or my marriage or what I am going through even with my children with somebody else except the oracle, of course this person will be, oh, pole sana, Pastor Pauline. Oh, they will give me a shoulder to cry on. I am human. If you give me a shoulder to cry on, I will cry properly. I will even hold that shoulder properly. It will come from the shoulder. You'll get to your pocket and give me a handkerchief to wipe my tears. One thing will lead to the other, and my emotions will feel very comfortable sharing with this person other than sharing with my spouse in the house. So next time, anything that happens, whether it is positive or negative, I will feel very easy to share with my spouse. With my friend in the office. And I will say, Brother James actually understands me, because maybe you try to share the same thing with your spouse in the house. Maybe there were tantrums that were thrown. Maybe you felt like I was not handled in the right way. So when that happens, I call it misdirected emotions. The only person I am supposed to direct my emotions as a married woman, especially things to do with my marriage, nobody else apart from the oracle. If things go out of hand, the other person you can share things about your marriage with is maybe a marriage counselor, which really I find, I am not saying their counselors are good. They are very good. There are some very good psychiatrists that will be able to study and know what is the problem with your marriage. But before it gets there, try and sort your issues in the house. There is a problem right there if you are feeling a bit free and a bit relaxed to share with Brother James in the office an issue that concerns your marriage other than sharing it with your husband? I don't know whether you're getting what I am saying. If you're a man and there is something that has happened in your marriage and you feel so pressed and you feel like I feel like busting, I have to share this thing. Of course, there is this saying that says a problem shared is half solved. But problems to do with marriage, get to know, who am I directing my emotions to? Because misdirected emotions could be interpreted wrongly by the person you're sharing with. Come on now. I said we are still in the body. So an emotion that is misdirected will be misinterpreted by the person that you're sharing with. And they will feel like they have a soft spot for you. And you will also feel, I have a soft spot for this person. So then the first time you could share that thing in the office. The next time you could say, let's have a tea together. There is something I want us to share. One thing will come from this to the other. By the time you realize there's already feelings that are being shared between the two of you, then this person, because you've already opened a door to them, I am now not talking about just men. I am talking about men and women. Because extramarital affairs, we cannot condemn the men alone. We also have women that are going outside their marriages. That is bigamy. So I am talking about misdirected emotions. When you find yourself very easily sharing issues about your marriage with a different sex person, the opposite sex person, if it's a woman you're sharing with a man, and you feel like very easy to pour out your heart to. How do I go to expose my husband to another man? He doesn't do this. He behaves like this in the house. How? Those are what I'm calling misdirected emotions. When you find yourself doing that, you're already trending on a danger zone. You're already trending on, you're just opening the door slowly for an extramarital affair to happen. By the time you realize, remember we are still in this body. You have already been given a shoulder to cry on the first day you came. And you were like, and you really cried. And by the time you finished crying, you felt like, my God, I feel so relieved. Misdirected emotions is one of the things that brings in extramarital affair. We have even had people who have had sex in the office because the emotions rose so high. It came from the shoulder and one thing led to the other. Now it's already a sexual relationship in the office. So if you misdirect your emotions, get to know as a married woman, as a married man, where do I direct my emotions? By the time you got married to this man or to this woman, you may not have known that they are people of high tempers. So ask God to give you the grace to stay with the tempers of this man. As long as he is not brutal, he is not beating you, he is still tameable. As long as a marriage is not abusive, you can still salvage that marriage. Instead of sharing your things with an outside person of the opposite sex, kindly tame yourself and just be able to talk to one another as man and woman in the house. Be very careful where you misdirect your emotions or where you direct your emotions, because where you direct your emotions could be another person who is also hurting in the marriage. So you will be two birds of the same feather flocking together. So this is a man in the office. He already has a problem with his marriage. He didn't have anybody to share with. You have come in as a woman. You're sharing with him what you're going through. And could be what he's going through is what you're going through. So you will join up together as a team and you will say, actually, what you're going through is the same thing I am going through. So can we console one another? In the consolation, there could be an affair that will start from the office, from a bar setup, from a church setup, from any social place. Extramarital relationship can begin. So I would like to advise couples to try as much as possible to give one another emotional support. Give your wife emotional support. Give your man emotional support. I want to tell you, I am married for the last 34 years. Men also cry. So give them that emotional support to be able to have a shoulder to lean on. Don't allow him to go to the office and cry. Don't allow your man to go to lean on another woman's shoulder in the office to cry. Always give him a shoulder to cry on. Don't allow your husband, don't allow your wife to direct their emotions to another person in the office, it is important for you to support one another emotionally. Otherwise, number one of how extramarital affairs happen is emotional misdirection. Remember, your husband or your wife is meeting with people out there. He's meeting with beautiful girls. He's meeting with more handsome men. He's meeting with everybody out there in the society. So for you to be able to close that door of extramarital affair, number one, learn how to direct your emotions. Don't just payuka out there about your marriage. Don't just talk about your marriage to everyone. Don't just talk about the what is it called now? Don't talk about the weaknesses of your spouse out there. One of the things that I have learned about my husband in my 34 years of marriage is that whoever you are, however you are, he will never allow you to discuss me with him. Never, ever. Be it his family, be it his friends, be it church members, he will never make me a subject out there. And so don't I. I can never make my husband a subject of discussion out there. Because as you expose your spouse, that is when you're able, you will find, even if you're exposing him to a group of people, you will find one person that will fall on your side emotionally. And you will find them feeling like, oh, that's what happened. And they will follow you. So you will be opening a door for an extra marital relationship. I have grown up in a church setup. Me, I have never gone to a disco. I have never gone to a bar. I have never drank. But in my 34 years and almost 60, I'm not 60, sorry, and almost 40 years in salvation and almost 38 years in ministry, I have seen it all. I have dealt with Christians. I have dealt with even pastors. I have dealt with people that have gone into extramarital affairs. Embrace your spouse and make sure their emotions are taken care of. Because if you don't take care of the emotions of your spouse, they will find somebody out there. There is always a shoulder that you can cry on. I am not just talking about men. I am talking about men and women. Because when we talk about extramarital affair, we could be, somebody thinks, hiyo ni kazi ya wanaume. Wamama hawaendagi nje. Wako. Me have dealt with cases as recent as juzi too, of a woman who is going outside her marriage. So please, let's learn how to direct our emotions. Another thing that happens in a marriage is if you're not able to meet one another's need, financial needs will create an extramarital affair outside there. As a man, the Bible calls you are the one to provide for your family. So if you're not able to provide for your family, the Bible says you're as good as an infidel or a pagan. So you are supposed to provide for your family so that your family does not feel like they are wanting and they can go out there to look for something. So be able to provide for your family as a man. Number two, I'm sure I have not exhausted emotional imbalance, but that is number one. I find that as my number one point in this topic, that for your emotions to be misdirected, it means you're lacking emotional support in the house. So as a man, as couples, let us learn how to direct our emotions. Let us learn how to direct our emotions. Let us learn how to balance our emotions. Let us learn how to support one another emotionally as married couples. If your wife comes to the house crying for something that has happened out there, men, learn to listen to us. Come on, I said men, learn to listen to us. We have too many words. We are detailed. So if you don't listen to our details, there is somebody out there that is ready to listen to our details. And I want you to know, men, the details we give you are connected to our emotions. Come on now. I said the details that we give you. I want to find the oracle in the house in the evening. He's so tired because he has been preaching on TV. He had a deliverance service. But in the evening when I come, I want to tell him from A to Z of what I have done. So I will start. I went to Quick Mart. And you remember that lady? We met with her. And you remember that lady from Nakuru? Now I'm in Nairobi. So I want to give him details. So if he's not listening to me, there is always a listening ear out there. So he has learned to listen to his detailed wife, because this woman you're talking to now or talking to you is very detailed. I will go to every nitty-gritty of everything that happens. So he has learned how to listen to me. So men and women out there, learn to support one another emotionally. Because especially for women, our details are connected to our emotions. Aya. Because I will feel very bad. Sometimes I can even cry if the oracle refuses to listen to me. So how many times as a man have you made your woman to cry? How many times have you made her to cry because you have not allowed her to express herself, and that expression is connected to her emotions? So men, please remember, our behavior and our expression, our emotions are connected to our many words and our many details. So when you don't give me a platform to give you all my stories, there is somebody outside there, because if I don't finish my words today, my son Parsley is in trouble. My daughter Grace is in trouble, because I will have to release all those words. But remember, not everything I can express to Parsley, because he is not my husband. So there are things that I want to direct to my husband, and there are things that you direct to your children. So the marital issues give us time to express our emotions to you. Our behavior is connected. It's intertwined with our emotions. So when I am talking to you and you're looking at your laptop, or you're looking at TV, you're not even listening to me, sometimes I tell the oracle, look at me and listen to me, because I want him to see the emotions in me. So give us time to express our emotions. I know you speak in summary, men, but give us time to be able to express our emotions. I want us to go to a short break. And when we come back, I want to go to the next point that is an ingredient, or it's a very terrible thing in extramarital affair. That is seduction. Until we see you after the break, please don't touch the dial. Dr. Pauline is talking about causes of extramarital affairs. So the next point I want to talk about is seduction. Until we see you after the break, may the Lord bless you. Call a friend, call somebody, tell them Dr. Pauline is talking. She is very, very exciting today. She's talking about extramarital affair, because at the end of it all, I will show you how to come out of it. May the Lord bless you. See you after the short break. Welcome back to Woman Without Excuse. This is now Proverbs 7, verse number 21. We are looking at possible causes of extramarital affairs. Notwithstanding that some of us are married to people that come from polygamous homes. Polygamy in your background is a very, very ripe ground for an extramarital affair. So I want you to know that if your spouse, either the man or the woman, comes from a polygamous home, that is ground enough for you to be able to enter into an extramarital affairs. We have even seen men of God who have married 2 wives because they have not dealt with their foundation. If your foundation, the Bible says, Psalms 11 verse number 3, Psalms 11 verse number 3, if the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? And I want to paraphrase it. If your foundations have a problem, what can the righteous do? If your foundation is polygamy, what can your marriage do? I want you to know that there is a foundation that just leads you into an extramarital affair. You don't want, your wife is beautiful, she satisfies you with everything, she does everything a good woman is supposed to do. Look at what I'm doing, a good woman, because there is nobody who is good. There's nobody who is perfect. So she could be doing everything that is supposed to be done by a woman. She could be giving you everything on time. Your food is timed. Your breakfast is there. Everything. She makes sure everything is okay. But you still feel your legs are leading you to the seductress house. You still find your legs are still, when you're driving even with your wife, when you're even walking on the street, you're still looking at beautiful girls. There is no problem looking at them. There is only a problem following their way. So polygamy can be one of another causes for extramarital affairs. If your grandmother was a third wife, if your grandfather had 3 wives, that is ground enough for you to enter into an extramarital affair. So I want you to come for deliverance. Nakuru, we have a deliverance service every Tuesday. In Nairobi, we have a deliverance service every Thursday. And if you don't want to come publicly for the deliverance service, you can book an appointment directly with the oracle. You come, he sits you down, puts you on a program and shows you how. Because there are men I talk to and they tell me my wife is beautiful. She does not have a problem, but I still find myself wanting another woman. So that is already a problem because there is a foundation that is speaking in you that says men in this house don't stay with only one woman. You have got to get an extra one. I even see it on social media. I see somebody, this is my wife, this is my wife. I call that nonsense. You may call it the Kikuyu tradition, but I want you to know you are putting a foundation that your children can never come out of. How was it in the beginning? He created them male and female, not male and females, not female and males. He created them male and female. In this case, I am not talking about a traditional marriage. I am talking about a marriage in the Christian setup. So I am saying this. It is male and female, not male and females. So whatever we are seeing today is actually, it's averting the principles of God. So Proverbs chapter number 7, verse number 21. My next point, I have talked about misdirected emotions as one of the causes for extramarital affairs. Number 2, if you're writing, it is seduction. There are seducers out there everywhere. The Bible talks about this particular woman, and the Bible says, Proverbs 7:21. I am reading in a version called NASB. That is like the Message Bible. It says, with her many persuasions, she entices him with her flattering lips. She seduces him. So seduction could be another cause for extramarital affairs. Who am I talking about? The Bible says, let me read it in Amplified Version. With much justifying and enticing argument, she persuades him with the allurements of her lips. She leads him, overcomes his conscience and his fears, and forces him along. So out there are women. The Bible is talking about a seductress. The Bible is talking about a woman that seduces men. So out there could be seductresses that are waiting for your husband. But there must be a door that has been opened for this seductress to be able to win your husband on her side. Women, listen to me. For a woman to seduce your husband and he gets yani kwa box, aingie tu kwa box ya seductress, there must be a trick the seductress is using that you are not able to apply in your marriage. Are you a stylish woman? Are you a modern woman? Are you able? Do you know how to upkeep with with the changing trend in the world? The seductress, actually she's a harlot. They have a specific way of dressing. Are you a modern woman? Because for a seductress to win your husband, there must be an open end somewhere. There must be a weakness somewhere. She must have seen a weakness in your marriage for her to try and mend it out there. So I want to lay this question to women. For your husband to be seduced out there by what the Bible is calling a seductress, remember the Bible says she will use a lot of persuasion. That means in the persuasion, maybe she could be comparing herself with you. Come on. Because she doesn't just seduce your husband. She knows you. She knows you stay with that wig or that weave for 6 months. And how she changes every day. So, to start with, she is the one that is following your husband. It could also be vice versa. It could be a man that is following a woman. So, a seducer could either be a man or a woman. But if I talk to women, I will tell you, style up. Make sure you are, to the state of art as a woman. Don't just be there a traditional woman that doesn't grow. You're the one ile tu pete ulivishwa siku ile Ndio tu nasemaga nie dena geshohe. Geshohe is to say what? The world is changing so much. So as a woman, you need to style up. As a man also, you need to know, who is this woman that is following me out there? Seduction is one of the possible causes of extramarital affairs. There are people in this case, it doesn't have to be ladies alone. It can either be male or female. A lady who is a mistress of seduction can come into the life of a man in a very subtle and cunning way. I am saying this. For a seductress to enter into the life of your husband, they come in a very cunning way. At first, they will just provide themselves and it's like, I am available. She will come with very sweet words. They will come with ways of trying to win this man of their side. She will infiltrate to the emotions. Remember, we started by emotional misdirection. So she will even come trying to cry in the office or in the place where they meet, and she will pour out her emotions as somebody who is very vulnerable and somebody who is really, she's desperate. So she will come with a cunning way and stir up the emotions of this man and pour out her emotions to this man. This is a seductress. And stir up the spirit of lust in this man, because a seductress is not a true lover. She is somebody that walks in the spirit of lust. In doing so, she will make the man fall in love with her. Remember, the Bible has said, let me read that Proverbs again, with her many persuasions. So it is not one day. She will start with, Sasa wewe. And the man will like, of course you will respond. And she will keep making a step after the other, until she wins the heart of this man. And I want you to know, when a seductress has pointed a finger at your man, it is not easy for them to give up. They do not give up. They will go an extra mile. They will do extra things until they make sure they get into the life of this man or this woman. The way she does it is to make the man love her company. You know, that one of either the man or the woman to love the company of either way. Remember, I am talking about a seductress or a seducer, either a man or a woman. So the way that these seducers will win the game is like they will make sure the man or the woman being seduced has loved their company. Yani unajisikia very easy. It still goes back to misdirected emotions. So they will make sure when they start the seducing game, then the way they create this, this space, they will make sure that the way even they package themselves, the way they talk, the way they do things, they will even do giveaways. Hiya. And they will make sure the man or the woman feels at ease within their company. So she will give the man a good reason to be in her company. I told you I am married for 34 years. So even if you didn't want to listen to me as Pastor Pauline, listen to my experience of 34 years. And I told you I have not dealt with any of those things in my marriage. I am not saying we are perfect, but I am saying this. For a seductress to win your man, there must be an edge that she has over you. For a seducer to win your woman, there must be an edge that he has over you. So you need to know, what is this that is out there with the seducer or the seductress that I am missing? So it's important for you to know, how are they doing these things? How is this thing happening? Where am I failing? Why is this woman just following me? She just wants my company. A professional seducer, listen to this. I am now talking about a woman, because women also seduce men. A professional seducer will make the man feel like he's the one trying to pursue her, while he or she is actually the one in pursuit of them. This is a very, very dangerous moment. And this is a very dangerous thing. They will make you feel like it is you that wants them. And yet, they have a hidden agenda to win you over. So a seducer, either a man or a woman, will package themselves and they will make you feel like it is you that wants me, it is not me who wants you. While it is on the vice versa. So you need to be very sensitive as a married person to get to know, who am I dealing with? Where am I? Because indiscipline also can bring in seduction. Funny jokes, silly jokes in the office, silly jokes and silly jokes with the opposite sex can also open a door for a seducer to feel like, Allah, kumbe this guy talks like this. Men of God listening to me, you can open a door for a seductress to get into your life and to feel so easy saying anything in your presence. I said I am married for 34 years, and I said I have seen it all. So for a man of God or for a woman of God to be caught in an affair, in a love affair with a woman, there must have been a door that you opened. Most seducers have learned, one of the tactics that the seducer uses is the art of kindness. They will be so kind. The person that is trying to seduce will be so kind. And there will be anything that you want, it's at your disposal. They will even offer lunches for you. They will even offer rides for you. So if you are not married to this man, even if he gives you a lift, let me tell you this. I have done it in the past. I have done it for the last 34 years that I am married, since the Oracle bought for me my first vehicle. Number one, I am not allowed to carry a man in the front seat of my car. Whether it's my brother, whether it's my cousin, it has only to be either my son personally or my husband, the Oracle. So because a seductress will come, you have given them a lift, and because they are just seducers, they will sit in a suggestive way. They will even talk, patting you. You have feelings. Come on. I said they are very, very cunning. They will infiltrate the emotions of the man or the woman very, very cunningly. So if for any reason you are given a lift by a married man or by a married woman, kindly jump on the back seat. I know that does not sound like music to many people. And it's like, but they know I am married. They know. But you can never know the spirit somebody is carrying. I am not saying don't give somebody a lift. Give them lifts, but carry them in the back seat of your car. And if need there be, don't even carry them. Especially people of the opposite sex. I don't know who I am talking to. We are closing doors for these extramarital affairs. We are talking about causes of extramarital affairs. If it's a man that is giving a woman a lift, we have a tendency, women, especially if you're not in a trouser, to sit. When you sit, your skirt will come up. What is exposed? Your thighs. I want you to know the man that has given you a lift has a visa to only one thigh land, and that is the wife. So stop exposing your thighs to our husbands or to the person that has given you a lift. So if he gives you a lift, jump to the back seat and tell them, please drop me at a certain place. Because you could be opening a door for a seductress to get into your marriage. Most seducers have learned and mastered the art of speech and dressing in a particular way. A person who is out to seduce another one, they will, number one, speak in a particular way. They will dress in a particular way. They will dress in a suggestive way. These two are part of their art of trade. Kindness, the way of dressing, and the way they speak. Remember, we have read in these Proverbs that with her many persuasions, she entices him with her flattering lips. That means her lips are full of flattery. She is not talking the truth. Whatever he or she is telling you, it's not the truth. So a seducer will actually win you by their many soft words. They will even show you the way they are, vile tu wako hao wamechanuka kushinda spouse wako. A professional seducer will make the person they are seducing feel like you're actually the one who is after me. While us, they are the ones that are after you. So take care of the tactics of the seducer. They will use the art of kindness. They also use the most vulnerable areas of the culprit, especially their emotions, so that they can be able to nail you down. So most seducers have learned and mastered the art of speech and dressing in a particular way. These two are part of their art of their trade. They try to be as eloquent and as soft-spoken as possible. They will never shout. They will always talk very softly. They will always talk in a way that you don't even, they look so harmless. and yet lying beneath them is a very dangerous person. So it's important for you to know how to guard your marriage. They present themselves in an image, the image of a strikingly attractive person that easily catches the attention of the other one. This seducer, she will go out of her way because she knows what she wants is either this man or this woman. By the time they are coming after you, they have already known what they want. They have already known the tactics they want to use on you. So seduction is number 2, a way of, extramarital affairs beginning. The seductress uses words to win the man to themselves. They take their time, but finally they perfect on the art. If it's a woman that is going after a man, because it is not only men that go after women, there are also women that go after men. So the seductress will use words, soft words. They will use very kind words. Let me tell you, they can even take you for the first date, even if it's a woman that is seducing a man. They will spend their money because they know the wallet of the man is fat. So I may spend 2,000 on them today, but in return, 10K itaingia kwa M-Pesa. So they are using tactics. I said they are using tactics. They could even board a plane together with your man as he is going out of the country for a trip, and they will meet there. And it's like, Allah, kumbe hata huko Dubai. And that is where the renew will start. But they know this is the only trip I am paying for myself. They will engage in different tactics to see which one works to the targeted victim. So they have so many tactics. They could use a tactic of dressing. They could use a tactic of even buying the victim with money. They could use a tactic of any tactic they can be able to use so that they can be able to get men. I want to talk to married women. Unfortunately, married women may not be aware of the tactics of the seductress. The words they use, the way they dress, so that their man become very easy prey and targets to the seductress. So married women, I want to advise us, let's up our game. Let us style up. Get to know what is this that this man is seeing out there. Because immediately a man has an extramarital affair, I am telling you, you will know. Because the behavior will change. Come on, I said the behavior will change. And if you ignore change of behavior in the house, you are welcoming the seductress into your house as a second wife sooner than you know. I am telling you the truth. You could be losing the man very easily and very fast to a seductress because you have ignored the change of behavior in this man. The mission of this seducer is normally very well calculated and not short-term. Now listen to me. If you realize your man or your woman is behaving in a specific way, different from their normal behavior, there is a problem right there. That is what I started by saying. So the seducers take their time to study and to master their victims. They will be very slow to master the weaknesses of their victim. For example, let's say there is a man that is a manager in an office. And every time he comes in and finds a jovial secretary and just passes and gets into the office and sits like this, the secretary will know there is a problem with this man. So what will she do? I have no problem with secretaries. I am actually a professionally trained secretary. I trained as a secretary professionally. I have worked in big companies as the MD secretary. I have worked with Asians, so I know how bosses behave. So if you find your boss behaving in a particular way, and you are a woman who has a spirit of seduction, it is very easy for this man to fall prey of this woman. So it's important for you married women, by the time your husband is leaving the house, please make sure things are okay. I said, please make sure things are okay, so that we don't sell our men to the hands of the seductresses. I know that is not very good news. The mission of the seducer is normally very well calculated, I've said, and not short-term. They take their time to study and master their victims. That is why when a man gets into the dragnet of a seductress, it is almost impossible to get them out. I tell you, because by the time they realize, they are already on the bed of the seductress. The next thing they realize, she is pregnant. The next time they realize there's a baby who looks copy and paste of them. So hata akitaka kuruka haezi ruka. So that is already a very dangerous stage in an extramarital affair in a marriage. Because once there is a child, it is very difficult to come out of it. Especially if the child comes out copy and paste. I have seen it because I have dealt with women for so many years. I have seen a man who gave birth to somebody who was working in the same office with the wife. So the day they are going for a baby shower, the wife realizes, this is copy and paste of my firstborn. So what do? Women, let us not sleep on the job. By the time we realize there is an extramarital affair, we will have slept on the job. So be vigilant in your marriage as a woman. Be vigilant in your marriage as a man. Be very vigilant. Keep it vigilant in prayer, in the place of prayer, because seductresses and seducers are everywhere out there. As a married woman, you must be very sensitive about any change of behavior in your spouse. Even as a married man, you must be very, very careful. Never assume anything. For example, if you realize he's throwing tantrums of late just like that. Yani kila kakitu kadogo, the guy gets irritated. Kila kakitu kadogo, madam gets irritated. There must be something that is happening. So give a listening ear to your spouse, because most extramarital affairs are happening because we are not able to give ear to one another. Ukiingia tu kwa nyumba, you're still on your mobile, you're on the TV. By the time food comes, umekula umeenda kulala. Tomorrow morning, the routine begins. So create time as a family. Create time as a family to be able to know what is this that could be bothering my wife. Anytime I have business stress, the first person to notice is the oracle. Because he realizes the woman is not as jovial as she has been in the house. So the moment a small thing happens to me or to him, because we have learned to be so intertwined with one another, we have learned how to support one another emotionally, financially. The slightest thing that happens to me, the oracle notices. And immediately he notices. Sometimes I would be a bit rigid because I don't want to involve him in my business stresses. But at the end of the day, where else do I take those emotions? I have got to share with him. Sometimes I will cry before him. Business is bad. ABCD is happening. The landlord is calling me. The landlady is calling me. I have this and this problem. This client has refused to pay. So when I express those emotions out like that, even tomorrow when I open my shop and any person coming in there, especially of the opposite sex, I have no business sharing about my business with anybody out there because my spouse has given me a listening ear. I will realize my husband has come into the house and it's not business as usual. Me, I normally know how to read his face. Immediately he gets into the door. I am able to know this is time to wake up and pick his bag because he always carries a bag with his Bibles and the rest of the things. And at times he will just walk in and he's all smiles. I know now he can take his bag to where he's supposed to be. But I have learned the art of understanding my husband within my 34 years. But if as a woman or as a man, you do not understand any change of behavior in your spouse, there is a problem right there. There is a problem right there. So as a spouse or as a man or a woman, get to know what is this why is my spouse behaving differently? Because if there are seducers out there that are throwing darts into your man's life, you know now, when he comes to the house, he is full of thoughts. Is it this woman I want or is it my wife? So I can easily be able to win my husband back by just welcoming him and using better words than what is being used there. One of the things I have learned in my 34 years, now I am talking to women. Remember, I've been talking about the seducer or the seductress, either male or female. One of the things that I have learned in my marriage for 34 years now is that men, they hate a disorganized house, especially their bedroom. And yet, they are the biggest disorganizers. He will leave his socks there, but when he gets into the house, hii bedroom iko namna gani? So as a woman, that is one of the points that the seductress can be a win over you because they will go visiting, especially if he's not born again. and he will find the seductress house. The bedroom is neat. The house is well tucked. The bed is well prepared. But yours, how is it? So I want to tell married women, one of the openings that can, throw your husband to the seductress is a disorganized house. Make sure you declutter your bedroom. I will say that again. Make sure you declutter your bedroom. Hapana wacha manguo za tangu ulipokuwa msichana, they are still in the wardrobe. You have hung them on hangers until now, even the color on the shoulders is all dust. Declutter your bedroom. I will say that again. Learn to declutter your bedroom. As a woman, learn to declutter your bedroom. Make sure there are no torn socks in the wardrobe of your husband. Make sure there are no torn underwears. I am talking to married men and women. Make sure those two old underwears, declutter the room. Throw them away. Because they also have a way of bringing an evil smell in the house. So as a woman, I want to teach you, or I want to advise you, learn to declutter your bedroom. Especially, don't keep very old things in that room until you have no space for it. Even if he wants to buy for you a new dress, he can't, because the old ones are stuck there. Zingine hata zimeraruka, lakini wasemanga, this one reminds me of such a thing. This one reminds me of this. Wewe, declutter your bedroom. One of the things that men hate is a disorganized room. One socks is there, the other one is there, the other one is there, the other one is there. Please, women, let's learn to declutter our bedrooms. I go to so many homes and I see how women behave. So sometimes as I'm leaving, especially if it's my friend's house, I will tell them, please, so and so, please declutter this house. You have too many unnecessary things. Maua ulipatiagwa sijui lini zimekauka, zimeanza mpaka kumwagika kwa nyumba. But because you are given by I don't know who and who, you want to keep the flowers in the house. They finished their assignment immediately. You got hold of them, you got pictures, keep them in the house for just 2-3 days. Water them maybe for a week. After that, just remove them. Declutter your house, because it really gets into men's heads when you don't declutter your house. So I want to stop at that. Get rid of things you don't need in your house. I want to stop this program at that for today. But it is a program I want to take for the next 3 to 4 weeks until we learn how to keep our marriages free of extramarital affairs. So until we see you again, allow me, before I go off air, to speak about our pay bill for 100 shillings. Now I want us to upgrade. We are now done with Woman Without Excuse. Now I have gone back to church affairs. Are you a supporter? Are you a partner with us? We are right here in this building in Nairobi, and we are asking you, we started by asking you, give us only 100 shillings all over the nation. If Dr. Pauline has been a blessing to you, if Dr. Oracle has been a blessing to you, we are paying a mortgage in this building. And I want you to know, by the time we own this building, you will not be in a rented house. So I want to request you, on the pay bill that is on the screen, kindly send us your 100, your 200. You can now upgrade. We've been on 100 for too long. You can now start saying, every day, I am going to miss my lunch of chips and sausage. I am going to give these 200 shillings to the Oracle and to this pay bill so that you help us. By the way, so far the pay bill has really been helping. Those of you that has been supporting us with only 100 shillings per day, it's been of a great blessing, because for now 10 months, we have paid the mortgage without fail, without struggle, because you are there for us. Please continue supporting us with, now you can say, I want to upgrade from 100 to 200 to 500 shillings. Me, I don't want to give 200. I want to give a one-off gift per week, 1,000. I want to give a one-off gift per week, 5,000. Whichever amount, as long as it is not below 100, you can go up to 1 million. You can come and see us in the office. We are normally in the office from Monday to Friday. We are in the office hours from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock. We are here. You can come and tell us, how much is that mortgage remaining? I want to offset the mortgage. you are most welcome. And as you partner with Mountain of Deliverance Church Nairobi, may your pockets never lack money in Jesus' name. I said, may your pockets never lack money in Jesus' name. May you be a partaker of this blessing. If the oracle and I have been a blessing to you, please partner with us. Help us pay this mortgage. And by the time we are celebrating, you will be part of the celebrations. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord provide for you. And keep watching the Oracle Television Network, and also keep referring people to our services, and also personally come. God bless you. God keep you. Keep partnering with us. Until I see you again, this is Dr. Pauline Oracle. God bless you.